A very good morning, everyone. On behalf of the entire ICAI fraternity, I once again welcome you all to the Global Professional Accountant Convention, GLOPAC 2023. We have now assembled here for our session on the theme Emerging Avenues on the topic Driving Sustainability Reporting and Social Audit, the Accountant's Role, where we will all be gaining insights into the evolving landscape of corporate responsibility, environmental stewardship, and societal impact assessment. We have with us distinguished panelists and a moderator. Can we have a great round of applause, please, for our moderator of this session, Mr. John Bolton, who's the Director Policy at ICAEW. Sir, can we please have you on stage? I would now take this opportunity to invite our panelists on stage. Can we have a great round of applause for CA Raj Malik, who's the Chief Accounts Officer and Senior Vice President at Reliance. Our next panelist we have with us, Mr. Manoj Vembu, who's the Managing Director at VRV Global Pte. Limited. Our next panelist is Mr. Bikash Prasad, who's the President and Group CFO at Olam Agri, Dubai. And I would also like to invite on stage CA Preeti Savla, our Central Council member of ICAI. Before we begin with this session, I would be requesting CA Preeti Savla ma'am to kindly give the opening remarks to this session.
A very good morning to all of you on this Sunday morning, track B, session 4. All of you are here to listen about the sustainability, social audits. So it's warm greetings to all of you from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And we have a very dignified panel over here. Our Master of Ceremonies have introduced our panelists, and I'm very grateful to share with you the opening remarks. And friends, I can share that the panel which has been there, all the members, Rajbhai and Manojji, and who has also come from Singapore, both the panelists, and Mr. John, who has come all the way from London, and my seniors. The first, I have been fortunate to be here in the Central Council since last year, and the committee which has been allotted to me was Sustainability Reporting Standard Board as a Vice Chairperson. And the first video which I have seen is about nature. So whether nature requires people or people require nature. Yes, anyone can say? People require nature or nature requires people? Huh? Yeah? Yeah. So Pradeep ji is saying people require nature. So all of you agree? Yes or no? Yes. So then so whatever we require, the things we take so much care about it. So what care we are taking about nature? Are we doing anything for nature? We require, but do we do anything? No, we don't do. We don't take care. So right now we are seeing a lot of extincts of animals, and birds are, we are not finding them. So if we don't take care of nature, in next maybe 50 years or 100 years, we will be no more. And that is why it is very important to take care of nature. And I welcome, I think Dr. P.C. Jain has come. Sir, I request you to please come in front. And I am happy to that and privileged that our chairman of our Institute of Social Auditor of India and our government nominee, Dr. P.C. Jain, who happens to be the principal former principal of Shri Ram College, Delhi, is here. So welcome, sir. and we take a lot of guidance from him in relation to all the areas and specifically the sustainability, and he has been our chairman of Institute of Social Auditors of India. So as such, I'm not going into detail in the opening remarks, but as regards to sustainability, what we discussed in our meeting, the sustainability in India, we from Vedas and Puranas, it's already there since years, thousands of years. However, the world is realizing now. We are, our forefathers used to take food on pattas, and now that is the fashion and the trend across world to have the food on the pattas, the banana leaves and all those things. So we, जब तक हम हमारे शर्ट का या नए ड्रेस खराब हो जाती है, उसका पोछा नहीं बनाते हैं, तब तक that is the circular economy in India which we are actually taking care. तब तक हम उसको use करते हैं. Yes, all of you agree? And however, the things which are coming in the world now all about the sustainability. And at least again in India, our board is, one of the primary board and which is established 4 years back. However, other countries are realizing it now. And in fact, I'm happy to share with all of you that Sustainability Reporting Standard Board has received the Best Board Award by UNCTAD, where 70 countries in the world have participated and we have received the best. And I'm happy that all the panelists, Rajbhai and all are really helping a lot for us. And friends will come and talk later, and we have actually involved how we are building the capacity of the members in the panel questions only. So let us begin with the panel, and I request John to please take it further and for the panel discussion, and we'll discuss a lot. We'll try to cover your questions also at the end, so for 5 to 7 minutes, and let's see how best and what best we can serve out of this session. Thank you so much and welcome all of you.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction, Chair Priti Paras. It's an honor to be here today. We've got a fantastic panel for you. And at the moment, we're really in the thick of sustainability reporting. This is the topic of this year. And our panel are hugely experienced in the area of sustainability reporting. They're in some of the leading businesses in the world who really understand and are living and breathing sustainability reporting. So we're really looking forward to sharing those insights with you today. So sustainability reporting, we have the BRSR in India, which now applies to the top 1,000 companies. That's really leading the way in terms of the disclosures that companies need to make. Around the world, there's a very rapidly changing environment for sustainability reporting. In Europe, we have European sustainability reporting standards. Just in the last 2 or 3 months, we've had those standards that have been finalized and are now taking effect. There's over 1,000 data points in the European sustainability reporting standards. And so the scale of the challenge facing the profession is a huge one. And also this year, we've had the international sustainability reporting standards that will be taking effect more widely, IFRS S1 and S2, which cover general disclosures and climate reporting. So the landscape's really changing very rapidly. But sustainability reporting is not just about the compliance of those biggest businesses that have to apply these international standards and are traded on global markets. Sustainability is now reaching far more deeply into value chains. It's something that's relevant for all businesses of whatever size, something that's coming not only from the regulatory side, but also from the investors, from the financiers, and importantly from customers as well, requiring businesses to report more deeply on their sustainability practices. So what I'm hoping you'll get from today is this sense that this really is a topic that's relevant for everyone, for all chartered accountants. And it's not just about reporting to some standardized templates. This is about embedding sustainable practices in real business models. It's about how do you make sustainability at the core of your business and make it real, something that is driving forward your business practices and is a driver of value within your business. So this isn't just about a one-size-fits-all approach, it's about designing the approach to sustainability that works for your business. So I'm hoping today we're going to get into the detail of some of those topics. We've got a hugely experienced panel, and I'd like to start by asking, why is sustainability relevant for your business? And I'll turn first to Raj.
So, good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute honor to be here. I would like to answer the question that John has asked in a different way. We CFOs have been attending, we CFOs have been meeting the investors community and analyst community for many years. 5 years down the line, in those meetings, sustainability was kept, or sustainability related questions were asked only last 5 minutes, that too over a cup of coffee or something like that. Presently, in last 1 year, every month at least 2 dedicated meetings on sustainability by investors, by analysts, and those meetings are, I can tell you, is really difficult to handle. It is not only they ask for your commitment, they ask for evidence. Okay, you said like Reliance, you know that 2035 is the date that we have here, that we say that we will be carbon neutral, okay, net zero. So what are your timelines, what are your milestones, what are the new initiatives that you are doing, whether sustainability is embedded in your business plan. So things have become difficult. We realize that if we go to the market and raise loans, which we do, and if we are not competent, if we are not sustainable, we are not moving to the path of sustainability, it will be difficult for us. The world is all about perception, and now sustainability is one of the leading things that creates perception. In fact, McKinsey has told that one of the top 10 board meetings agenda or discussion, sustainability is one of them. So I think sustainability has truly taken a center stage, not only in corporates. You can see COP27, COP28, even world stage, the world leaders, corporate leaders, and everyone has taken it very seriously. So I don't think we have any chance or have to leave it aside or move ahead.
And Priti, if I may turn to you, why do you see perhaps let's go to Bikash first. So Bikash, why is sustainability important to your business?
Sure. So first of all, I would like to really congratulate ICAI for organizing this wonderful event. And I'll just say that in March of this year, I met Aniket in New York during one of the IFAC meeting. And then he said that last year we had organized 21st World Congress of Accountant, which is like a World Cup, which happens every 4 years. And GloPack is like IPL, which has to happen every year. So I think he started from that vision, and then today when we see that the kind of event that has been organized for, I think each of you Central Council members, the members who are organizing team are, all the thanks and congratulations due to you. So the question is why sustainability is important for us. I would say sustainability is not just important for, say, my company or Reliance or any other company. It is important for each of us. And I would like to spend a few minutes on explaining why sustainability is important for each of us, and each of us have a role to play. It's not just for the government or few corporates to drive sustainability, but it is important for each of us if you want a better world, if you want an environment which is healthy for our generations to come. So by definition, sustainability is an integration of environmental health, social equity, and economic viability to create healthy, prosperous, thriving communities for generations and generations to come. It is a framework which ensures that people and planet can coexist for our children and again generations to come. Now, So what has happened that all of us are talking about sustainability, we are talking about climate change, we are talking about ESG. What has happened? Something fundamentally has changed, right? A decade ago, we never talked about sustainability or ESG. What has happened? So if you look at the last 800,000 years, the carbon dioxide level in the environment oscillated between 200 to 300 ppm, parts per million, which is a unit of measurement for carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere. Post-industrialization, which started in 1950, the same level is now at 416. So a level which oscillated between 200 to 300 for 800 plus years now is standing at 416. So almost 40 to 50% jump in the carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere. And it is creating the havoc. So now a couple of incidents that you'd all really recall. There was a flood in Pakistan last year. Almost 25% of the GDP was lost. 9 out of 10 wildfires in California, which has happened in the last 5 years. We had heat waves in India last year, and those locations where we had heat waves, the wheat crop yield dropped by 50%. We are seeing series of wildfires, heat waves, which is impacting not just the people health, but also the business performance. The manufacturing cost is going up if there is a drought. If there is a heat waves, the cooling cost is going up. So it has an impact for the businesses, it has an impact for people life. So it is not just for some of us, but it is for entire world, and each of us have a role to play. Now the second question I am asked that how much of global temperature has gone up compared to the pre-industrialization level? It is 1.2 degrees centigrade. The general understanding will be that 1.2 degrees is nothing, right? Why we are so worried? But if you look at 1.2 degrees centigrade and all these incident adverse weather impacts that has happened, it is at 1.2. Now, all the governments have come up with policies. They have implemented certain policies to reduce the impact of the climate change. If they implement all the policies religiously, by end of this century, 2100, the world temperature will be up by 2.9 degrees centigrade. Then the governments are also coming up with places, and all these COP meetings that is happening, if they meet all the places, the global warming will be at 2.4 degrees centigrade. However, the COP and the members, the UN and G20, they're all trying to cap the global warming at preferably at 1.5 degrees centigrade, but definitely not more than 2 degrees centigrade. And I have told about 1.2 degrees centigrade now. If the temperature goes to 1.5 degrees centigrade, the wheat crop yield will drop by 7%. If the temperature goes to 2 degrees centigrade, the wheat production yield will reduce by 18%. 99% of the coral reefs, which is important for the survival of the ecosystem, will be vanished. 800 million people living in the Pacific island nations will be at risk. So it's a significant risk for the planet if we are not able to curb the impact of the climate change. And at 2 degrees centigrade itself, we are seeing massive impact that is going to come. But imagine that versus the current policies, we are looking at 2.9 degrees centigrade. So each of us have a role to play, and we'll discuss further when we go through other points. But it's extremely important that each of us imbibe and understand sustainability. It is for our survival, and it is for our future generations to come. And I always say that we have not inherited this world from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children.
So sustainability reporting is not just a compliance exercise, it's something that's so vital to the future of our planet and the resiliency of our businesses. So if I can pass over to Manoj and ask you, why is sustainability important to you?
Hi everyone, good morning. Thanks to ICAI, our alma mater, to organize this kind of a global conference. Jumping quickly onto the question, I think my fellow panelists, they answered it very well. From a small and medium enterprise, from a very small level, I would like to give the perspective of how sustainability became important for us. Unlike the large enterprises and large companies, all of us, small practitioners, small enterprises, will get affected whether or not we want it. The reason is, if you look at the Industrial Revolution that started 50 years back, it was all about getting your activities more efficient. You learn about Six Sigma, you learn about just-in-time process, you learn about efficiency, etc. But unfortunately, what got left out in this whole process is how to make it more sustainable. Whether the future generation, as Vikas was mentioning, we borrowed this world from our children. So do they have a better world than what we are living in to live on or not? So from that aspect, today, from this century onwards, things are now changing towards not just making the supply chain efficient, but making it more sustainable, more responsible. How we can leave a legacy for the future to live in this world. I have seen a lot of things happening in sustainability side. A lot of you might be thinking, what is the sustainability? Why this ESG is becoming so important? We all understand the climate change that's happening around us, but is it so important for us to get into such details? I'll give a simple example. When we all started, when I started to look into the sustainability journey, I thought I must have complete understanding before practicing this. So what I did was just spend 10 minutes on Google every day to learn about ESG and sustainability. That's all my journey started in that. And that actually gave a lot of knowledge in terms of how we can start using it for ourselves. All of us, we are advisors or maybe running businesses or maybe conducting simple audits for our customers or clients. All of those clients, they form part of a big value chain in this whole world. 80% of today's world is run by SMEs. 80% of today's commerce is run by SMEs. That's about several $1 trillion. Now, when you look at that, each and every customer of yours and maybe yourself are contributing towards that. Now, if you change yourself into a more sustainable practitioner or advise your customers or clients on sustainable practices, this will contribute. It's like the SIP plan, right? Every small drop contributes to become a bigger ocean. So that's where we are heading to. If we contribute towards that, I think we can create a sea of change on the sustainability side. From a small enterprise segment, we have embraced it, and I believe all of us can embrace it very easily. Thank you.
So if we turn now to look at the sustainability reporting requirements that apply in practice. So Raj, could you tell a little bit more about the standards that are currently applying in India?
Thanks. So normally, when the regulator comes up with a mandate, normally we don't like it because we need more work, more effort, more resources. But I think the welcome change was sustainability is people appreciated it and people loved it, and people felt life has become a bit busier. I'll explain you why. Before BRSR being introduced, we at the corporate had 17 frameworks to choose from. And all those frameworks were something in common, and it was really difficult to choose, and it was a big job to decide. Now at least that monkey is off our shoulder. We need to follow BRSR, and thanks to our regulator and thanks to all the advisors that have helped to build it BRSR, it's a very comprehensive framework. Lot of companies across the world follows GRI, and I can tell you 70, 80 and maybe 90% of GRI is there in that framework. So if you follow BRSR, you have a framework, you have the data reporting mechanism that is world class. I mean, the data requirement is world class. Now, how you derive the data is a different issue. In India, I mean, the regulator have stepped up. First, they have made 23-24 financial year, BRSR was mandatory for top 1,000 companies based on market capitalization. And they have given a roadmap how it will be, how it increase, they will increase, keep on increasing the bandwidth. Current year, 24-25, 23-24, they have issued a mandate that top 150 companies need to get the data assured, BRSR data assured, at least 79 or 80 of points of the data needs to be assured. So that is the second thing they have come in. And it is ever increasing. So the requirements of India is very simple. You have to have a BRSA which is very comprehensive. Still a lot of corporates are struggling because there is a lot of resource to do that. And the assurance part is the icing on the cake, because actually what I feel, until you have the assured data, it does not have that much credibility. So it is a great thing to happen. They started with top 150 companies and it will expand very soon. And instead of Chartered Accounts India and Preeti Mami here, he's heading their initiatives. They have come out with a lot of other things, social audit, etc., that have also added a lot of fillip to it. So if you see the regulatory thing, India is fast moving into a zone where sustainability is being taken very seriously. And I feel, this is my perception, 10 years down the line and 5 years down the line, the reporting of sustainability data will be as serious or taken as seriously as we do for statutory reporting and quarterly filings.
So the BRSR is providing a real catalyst to reporting as it becomes more and more embedded in business processes over time. And I guess for many businesses, it's just creating a starting point. It's how do you get started on that journey, and over time you build the rigor that comes with it. But I guess as we enter this era of standards, then it becomes easier for regulators to enforce. And if I can turn to you, Bikash, so you're in an international business. Which standards are you currently applying, and how do you see that changing in the future?
As Raj said, there are various guidelines and standards today. So whether it's a GRI, PRI framework, IIRC framework, SASP has certain guidelines. So for different companies have been choosing different guidelines or different standards to report their performances on sustainability. It was proving to be very complex for a regulator or investor or even for the peer companies, because everyone is reporting it differently. It was a challenge. Then G7 created a task force to look at impact of the climate change on the financial disclosure. It came in place. So for Singapore, where we are listed, in 2022, the requirement came in place that you have to either comply or explain. So they adopted the TCFD framework, which is the task force on climate-related financial disclosure. And this was inward-looking framework, means the impact of climate change on the businesses. There are two types of framework: the impact of climate change on the businesses, and the second is how the businesses are creating or impacting the environment. So this framework was more inward-looking, where corporates were asked, listed companies were asked to submit the reports. This TCFD framework has helped to standardize the structure of reporting for every company. This report has 4 pillars, key pillars, starting from the governance, how the company is governed, going to strategy, how the company is looking at the climate-related risks and opportunity, imbibing it, and then developing their business plan. Third is about the risk management, the processes that corporates are taking to identify all the risks, to make a plan to mitigate all the risks. And the fourth one is about the KPIs and the metrics and the target, that how do you quantify the impact of climate change and start reporting it. So there are 4 pillars and 11 recommended suggestions as part of the TCFD framework, so which we have been doing it. In addition to the TCFD framework, we have to also look at, as part of the risk management, that how the businesses are getting impacted in terms of the various risks. And there are 2 types of key risks. One is called physical risk. So with all the heat waves, floods, changes in the weather patterns, rainfall pattern, the companies are exposed to certain impacts. So how do you look at doing a physical risk modeling and prepare your organizations to face and mitigate the risk? The second type of risk is about the transition risk. So as most of the governments are moving towards low carbon economy, they are looking at reducing the carbon emissions for their respective countries, basis the pledges and undertakings that they have made. And as part of this transition risk, if the corporates are not meeting their targets, the governments will be, forced to introduce carbon taxes. So as a company, I think we have to look at both from a physical risk modeling, which can impact our facilities, our assets in different geographical location, as well as looking at it from what can come from the governments. And we should be prepared on a proactive basis, not waiting for the government intervention and implementation of the carbon taxes.
So for some of the world's leading companies that you've heard from today, this is really becoming a very complex environment of reporting with lots of different requirements, both in India and internationally. But how about the smaller companies within the supply chain? How should they be thinking about the challenges and opportunities that sustainability reporting brings? If I can turn now to Manoj, from your perspective, what do you see as the implications for the small and medium companies in the value chain, and how can they address those? How can they build this into their business model and deal with what their suppliers and others are asking them to do?
That's a very important question. Small and medium enterprises, as I mentioned earlier today, they comprise about 80% of world's commerce. So that's a very valid challenge that's been posed on to these small and medium enterprises. Whether you want it or not, you are forced to comply with certain things. So where I run a business in Singapore, it's a small and medium enterprise. We never had anything to do with ESG reporting, sustainability reporting, nothing. We were living happily. But all of a sudden, the law came up in Europe. And because my customer happened to be in Europe, he wanted us to comply with that law. We are not legally obliged. We are not supposed to be complying with that law. We are living in Singapore happily. But then we were made by our customer to comply with the law. So we do not know from which side we'll be attacked. So I think we need to be more aware of what's happening globally rather than just looking at what we are or where we are living in with. So that's one of the changes that came in all of a sudden for a small enterprise like ours. Also, from the own country that we are running our business, the legal system started changing. One of the important things that Bikash mentioned just a while ago is carbon tax. Today, we all are living in India, we are practicing in India, but if you go outside of India, Europe, or most of the Southeast Asian countries, even in the US, you are finding this new terminology that's coming up called carbon tax. So most of you would have seen the enhanced producer responsibility that's coming up for the plastic companies and plastic manufacturers here in India. That's basically one way of charging them for how they are polluting the environment and etc. This has taken a different form and fashion by the way of carbon tax globally. It's only a matter of time before India announces a carbon tax as well. So I think we are facing that coming up to all our customers, all our clients, and eventually to us as well. So whether you are just a chartered accountant or whether you are running a business, carbon tax is going to come now or later or sooner. So now, how do we mitigate this? From a small and medium enterprise, always it becomes a challenge to put more resources. First of all, we are running hand to mouth to ensure that the business is run properly. So it doesn't make any sense for us to go and put even more resources for something that's just towards reporting and just to collect data. So what we did is we started embracing technology. Now, technology is a beautiful tool that can ensure that with the limited amount of resources that you've got, you can ensure 100% compliance to whatever has been thrown at you. So in your own practice, in your own businesses, in your own customers' businesses, you would have seen accounting was a manual job, then it got transformed into and a completely automated system with the aid of technology. Similarly, reporting, assurance systems. When I was practicing as a chartered accountant probably 20 years back, we always used to do it manually, but now everything is with the advent of technology. Now the same thing is happening in every business aspect. Sustainability is no different. We are embracing technology, and with the advent of AI, machine learning, and most advanced technologies across the globe in terms of carbon measurements, carbon capturing, etc., technology is helping us superb methodologies, giving up superb methodologies to ensure that we comply with these regulations without any extra expenditures to be spent. Now, can we take advantages of it or not? Yes, every one of you must take advantage of the technology side of it. Whether you are small, whether you are big, I think technology is an underlying factor. I studied, before chartered accountancy, I studied computer science, and then I decided that computer science is no good because the technology was so costly, it was not useful for us at the time, and nobody was practicing technology in accounting and other stuff, right? So I just threw it off. Fast forward 20 years, we cannot live without technology. I mean, thanks to all the US companies that build technology to a greater extent, but I think the Asian economy, the embracement in which the Asian economy took technology into has really changed the whole world. Today, you have plethora of startups that can provide you whatever you want. Whether you imagine things or not, whatever you want on the sustainability side or on any other aspect, they can provide you a technical solution for it. So please use this. India is becoming one of the biggest startup hub in the whole world. I think we have to make use of technology. We have dedicated a part of our profits, a part of our activities towards developing technology solutions that can help a small enterprise like myself. I'm sure Olam and Reliance must have got their own battalion behind technology, but for a small enterprise, this is the key for us to comply with anything that's thrown at us.
So some of those technological solutions that we're going to be using in the future as this reporting becomes more embedded, and we're really only beginning with this, it's only this year that these frameworks starting to take effect. The carbon border adjustment mechanism in the EU only started in October and only in some key kind of raw material sectors. That's going to be rolling out much more widely over coming years. And so the technology that we're going to be using maybe hasn't even been designed yet. And if there's a thought to take away from today, then there's huge opportunity in that. So I think this is the question for GloPac 2023. For us as chartered accountants, what are the opportunities in this area? What are we going to be, I suppose, sitting here in 5 years' time? How are we going to have taken opportunity out of this? And what are your teams going to be working on in these areas that you haven't perhaps even thought about you're going to be doing? So perhaps I can turn to Raj first to ask, what are the opportunities you see for chartered accountants, and how would you like to see them taking those forward?
See, conventionally, chartered accountants have always been into tax, direct tax, indirect tax, audit and accounts. With this technology, as Manoj said, a lot of this accounting is done back end. I mean, we don't need chartered accountants to do it. Even a lot of tax computations are being done. In fact, government now compute tax, your tax, and throws it to you and say, well, you please follow this. If it's wrong, well, you come back to us. So that is the way things are moving. But when people ask me whether accounting profession is dying, I said, it is not dying. It is at the cusp where it is required to take a larger role, a more pivotal role, a more determining role. So one of the areas is ESG. You see, only top 1,000 entities are in the ambit of BRSR, and what kind of noise people are making. In all conferences, everywhere you have a session on ESG and BRSR. Think when not 1,000, 10,000 entities will be coming in that fold. So much assurance it will require. Who will give the assurance? I mean, I work with people who are dedicatedly sustainability professionals who have studied only sustainability during the college. But whether they can lead this movement, answer is no. For that, we need chartered accountants. Are the chartered accountants ready to take up this job? The answer is no, until they build competency. So it is both ways. If chartered accountants build competencies, and which institute has taken a step ahead, giving courses, etc., there are other colleges coming in, other institutes coming in. If we take it up, then I think we have a huge role in this area to play. We have been traditionally managing financial data. We have been custodian of financial data. We have been, no one questions our credibility on audit of financial data. In my understanding, and a lot of experts believe that in your annual report today, sustainability may be 10 or 15% of total data and 70-80% financial data. Things will change dramatically in next 5 years' time. 50 to 60% will be data related to sustainability, and 30 to 40% will be on financial data. So you mean to say 30 and 40% data will be audited, and other 60% will not be audited? It is not so. It will be. It is required to be, because without audit, without assurance, there is no credibility. But are we ready to take up the audit? Answer is no. For that, CA has to, chartered accountants firm has to grow big, has to, have a platform. They have to take people who are also sustainability professionals, take their input, because we have not been taught sustainability that way in our course. So you need people who are hardcore into sustainability, who understand emissions, who are engineers, who are technology professionals. So if we can bring those partnership, then yes, we are ready. And I can tell you, and I can see, I can visualize, this becomes a very big role. In corporate, the most heartening things are when I go to any conferences or in seminars, young people come and tell me that how can I be a part of sustainability movement? How can I take my career in sustainability? And when I tell my experience and how do I came in sustainability, I was a chief accounts officer for Reliance for a decade. And last 2 of my being chief accounts officer, my bosses told me that the work is no more challenging for you. You have been doing for 8-10 years. So what's great thing? So I said, no, there's a lot of things. No, you do something. In the month of February, they told that you please take up the annual report also and the sustainability part also. Annual report, anyway, the numbers, balance sheet, P&L, that was my responsibility, our team's responsibility. Entire annual report, the communications piece, the MD&A piece, and etc. That was still I can do because I always played a pivotal part in that. But sustainability was Greek and Latin to me. I was so into waters. So I spent time, I learned, like Manoj resorted to internet. I did internet to Google and etc. But I did some formal courses also. I went out and learned. And then that year I managed. And from next year I felt I was contributing, and now I really contribute. So if I can do it, I can tell you every one of us can do it. So young people who feels that sustainability is not part of our syllabus, we have not learned, we have champions in direct tax, indirect tax, accounts, etc. You are wrong. I mean, learning is as no end, and you have to keep on learning new things. And if you learn, and with the experience of direct tax, indirect tax, etc., you can become a sustainable professional. And I'm telling you, in 10 years down the lines, if you want to become a CFO, one of the characteristics people will look is, can you appreciate, can you know, do you understand sustainability, can you lead the company in sustainability front or not? Today, if you become CFO, only accounting is not enough. People ask you, do you know treasury, can you raise finances, can you be a good communicator, can you communicate business things to the people? Similarly, people will ask, do you understand sustainability, can you lead the company, can you face the investors? So sustainability is important from capacity building, not only for people who are in industry, the people who are in the other side also. Because you need to take up the assurance piece. Thanks.
Very important. So if you want to be a CFO in 10 years' time, then financial reporting is no longer enough. You've really got to get to grips with this stuff and the resources that are provided by the institutes to help you to do that. If I may turn to you, Bikash. So thinking about OLAM and the chartered accountants that you work with inside your business and those that provide services to you, I mean, what are you looking to them for in terms of sustainability? What is it that you want chartered accountants to know about this topic, and what services are you looking to them to provide to you?
Look at it first as what a fantastic opportunity for all of us to be involved in sustainability and drive it. Most of us have not learned sustainability as part of our syllabus when we passed our professional exams. This is an opportunity, and especially in the last 5 to 10 years, the requirement from the corporates have increased, and that is also creating a lot of opportunity for members in practice. Now somebody has to take a lead in the organization, right? So if I give example of OLAM, we wanted to split the sustainability function into two. One, we called it operational sustainability, which to ensure that the execution on the ground happens. And one of the business head, she told us that she is very passionate about planet and society. She would like to lead it. And she had a background of handling businesses in the past. She took over the role of operational sustainability head. Similarly, as part of the finance also, we wanted to have a finance for sustainability team separately. And one of my team member, again, she came and said that she is very passionate about planet, people, societal values, and she wants to be involved in this. And we all supported her because she had the capability. And then today she is heading the finance for sustainability team. So today, if you look at the chartered accountant, whether the members are in industry or in practice, the place is quite overcrowded. This is giving us a fantastic opportunity to learn and develop our skills, which will create enormous opportunities. I can tell you that there is a huge dearth of talents when it comes to sustainability and sustainability reporting. Today, as part of my team, we are grooming 4 qualified accountants to lead the finance for sustainability role. In terms of just to give you a sense of what are the roles that can come up for the qualified chartered accountants or for the finance controllers. If you imagine our standard role that we play in any of the organization or in the CFO role, we play 4 key roles. The first role for us, which is our bread and butter, is the control and compliance. So we are all controllers. We ensure that we keep the organization safe from all the controllable losses or from all the reputational losses. Similarly, in sustainability field, we have to do a lot of compliances and reporting to the regulators, to investors, to insurance company, to the banks, even to our employees. And TCFD is one such framework where we have to talk about impact of climate change on our financial performance. TNFD is another framework which is now being worked out. And we are working very closely with the Singapore government on the TNFD framework. So these requirements will continue to increase. The ESG is another part. So SGX and Singapore has not made it mandatory. They have prescribed some suggested KPIs. So 15 key areas across environment, social and governance, and 27 KPIs. But they have not made it mandatory. But as we go along, most of the governments will start these KPIs and areas mandatory so that the inter-firm comparisons can happen and it can bring a standardization. So the point is that these requirements and disclosures and reporting will continue to increase, and the company, if they are not ready to comply and report, will have to face the reputational losses and as well as the financial penalties. So we have a huge role to play as controller when it comes here. The second role that we play as a normal finance, a general finance, is about the performance manager. So we ensure that we keep the organization on track against all the plans that we have, whether it is overheads budgets we have, or the fixed capital budget, or working capital budget, or any organic capex that we are doing. How do we ensure that the capex is not overshot? A strat plan, driving the strategic planning, that we keep the company on track against all the plans. If I relate that to sustainability role, here also we have a role to ensure that we first measure the carbon emissions and ensure that all the targets that we take or the budgets we take to reduce the carbon emission in line with the science-based target initiatives or other framework. The tracking and reporting and driving part can again be done by the chartered accountants. The third role that we play is about the co-pilot or co-strategist role that we play, where we directly work with the business team and ensure that we grow the business, we develop the business, we grow the market share, the margin structure, the profitability. So if we come to, say, the sustainability side, here also we can look at how to create an edge for the organizations in terms of competitive advantage that we can have. And we can look at the decarbonization plan, that how we work together with the businesses in coming up with a decarbonization plan which is more cost effective, but at the same time can create an edge over the other companies who are not working on the similar framework. So it can create an advantage for us as a core strategist, and then we can drive it accordingly. So we can look at reforestation, afforestation, avoidance of deforestation, looking at the carbon credit market, looking at the offset projects. So there is a huge opportunities for the finance professional to partner with the businesses as a core strategist. And the last role that we play is about the value manager. So the first three roles that I have explained is it's very difficult to quantify the impact to the bottom line and the P&L. And hence the finance came up with the value manager concept that will also establish that independently how much we are contributing to the bottom line. So impact like, say, the reducing the effective tax rate, ETR, or reducing the effective interest rate, looking at driving the cost and capital, which can reduce the impact and improve the profitability. Similarly, in sustainability field, we can look at how do we come out with the green bonds, with the sustainable financing, where it's not just creates a high reputation for the organization if we have a sustainable financing, but it also reduces the cost of financing. You also create an independent value for the organization. So I do see personally there are numerous opportunities that finance professionals can take up, whether it is in industry or in practice. Today, like we talked about the carbon measurement, but we also want the carbon assurance. So some external firms to come and review that our carbon emission that is there is correct or not. And then again, as a practitioner, you have the opportunity to look at providing assurance on the carbon emissions. You have the opportunity to provide assurance on the physical risk. Like say, suppose we have a business in Rajasthan. Rajasthan is prone to droughts. How in 2030, 2040 and 2050, your businesses are exposed to that risk and how it can impact your profitability. So as a practitioner, you can look at that modeling, and there are enough science-based concepts which you can use to assess the value at risk for a particular asset in a particular geographical location. So I do personally that whether it's in members or in industry or in practice, there are huge opportunity, and we should definitely encash that because the place is extremely less crowded. There is a dearth of talents when it comes to sustainability. So I personally feel quite passionate about it, and I see that there is a huge opportunity.
So I hope you were listening carefully, because in a very sophisticated business like Olam, the opportunities from sustainability are huge for chartered accountants, and each of those individual areas has a series of processes and things to understand, but we can really help and add value too. So I hope over coming years, as these things mature, then we can really start to unpack them and understand how we can get involved and add more value. But as Vikash, you've illustrated, lots of businesses are already doing a huge amount in this area, with chartered accountants really at the core of that. So Manoj, if I may turn to you, you're based in Singapore, you're interacting with lots of chartered accountants. So do you feel, is it possible to have a career in sustainability now as a chartered accountant?
It's a very interesting topic. So my life journey, after completing chartered accountancy, I was a practitioner. So from there, I moved on to business, running my own business. So I've seen both sides of the table. So let me just divide this into opportunities for large chartered accountancy firms and opportunities for the SMPs, the small and medium practitioners. So when it comes to the small and medium practitioners, I think that's where it's getting very crucial, difficult. And most of the time, we do not try to identify whether there is an opportunity for us or not. Now, please remember, whenever there is a change, the opportunity is first given to the one who is more agile for the change. And who is more agile? Not the big chartered accountancy firms or big corporates or big companies, but it's the smaller ones who can immediately shift the track and change towards the new challenge that's thrown at them. Now, from that perspective, I feel the small and medium practitioners have got the best to be made out of this opportunity that's thrown at them. Now, sustainability, ESG reporting, or any such aspect that's thrown at you is similar to what we have seen in our own accounting standards changes that we have seen in the world, right? So when I studied, it was completely Indian accounting standard, Indian GAAP. Then when I completed my CA course, I was thrown at something called IFRS, and then international accounting standards. India started adopting the international accounting standards. So whoever was first to jump on to read about the IFRS standards was very good in adapting that for Indian system. Similarly, you can understand something called transfer pricing. It came in sometime in 2010, 2012. All of a sudden, a new concept. Nobody knew what was transfer pricing. We were just billing and doing taxes normally, but then transfer pricing came up. Anyone who seized amongst you the opportunity of transfer pricing audits, being a specialist in transfer pricing, can understand a similar transitional change is now happening, and that's posing a great opportunity for small and medium practitioners in the form and fashion of ESG and sustainability reporting. So please take this as the challenge that you're born to do this particular challenge, and we are the most suited to do it as well. Why? We are now working as part of my operations, business operations, I also have a tech company, and we focus mainly on assisting the small and medium enterprises to adopt to sustainability and ESG standards. One of the key things that we have seen is wherever we go, we work in Delhi, we work in southern part of India, we work in Indonesia, we work in Japan, we work in Australia, Africa. One of the key things that I've seen, underlying factor that I've seen, is wherever we went, our first level of interaction was with the chartered accountants. Not just Indian chartered accountants, but the local chartered accountants as well. Why? They form the fulcrum of advising their customers or handholding their customers towards this sustainability journey. Customers are businessmen. Whenever you tell them there is something new to comply with, they say, get lost. That's the first thing that everybody will say. But if you go to an advisor who is basically the chartered accountants for them, they say, okay, so this is an opportunity that I can seize up. I can probably give extra services, extra earning comes up, revenue comes up, everything comes up, but without spending too much of money, effort, and time, how they can go and take this as a new area of practice has attracted a lot of them to follow this. Now, coming to the large enterprises, to be very honest, I'm attending a CA conference after 10 years. So I've never known that chartered accountancy firms are allowed to exhibit the bigger stalls that we are having here. I've never seen this when I was a chartered accountant. So it's wonderful to see a CA firm like the bigger ones, the older ones are taking up more and more. The newer ones are also there, exactly. Now, what I saw as one of the key differences, most of the bigger firms that I saw here, they've got ESG consulting as one of their practice areas. Now, ESG is just 3-4 years back came into India, right? When BRSR came in last year here. So it's quite fascinating to see this. Now, what I want to tell for the larger chartered accountancy firms is please ensure that you give the enough space and ability for the smaller ones to service you. Because all of it can't be done by the larger firms. Impossible to do. The smaller firms, the smaller practitioners are the ones who can definitely form pillars, your eyes and ears, for you to expand into multiple different areas. So I think there is a big collaboration and cooperation that can happen between the smaller firms and the bigger firms if we keep our mind open. Never used to happen in the accounting industry. We never used to share our customers, clients, and we never used to work with one another. But I think this new area of opportunity is giving us a new area of collaboration, cooperation, networking, exactly, between the smaller firms and the larger firms. So I think as a godfather, the larger firms must embrace the smaller ones, and the smaller ones can then percolate this message towards their customers, clients. And then by doing all of this, I think towards globally, as India, we can bring up one of the most transformational changes in terms of sustainability and ESG reporting. That's the opportunity that I see for everyone.
So chartered accountants really are the gatekeepers and route into the wider business community. And as the supply chain is affected by sustainability reporting demands, then we can really be the ones to take those messages to our clients. How do you deal with this? How do I approach this? How do I keep myself up to date? I'd like to turn to social audit now. And India is pioneering in issuing the first standard, audit standard for social audit. And so this is an area that's really, again, starting to grow very rapidly. And I'd like to turn to you, Chair Priti, and just ask from your perspective to say a little bit more about social audit. What is it, and what should we know about social audit?
Thank you, John. And at the outset, let me appreciate the efforts of all the panelists. Rajbhai, in spite of his busy schedule, he has come today morning and directly came to the venue. And Mr. Bikash Prasad, who has come all the way from Dubai to share his experience, what he is into sustainability, how their companies actually adopted it, and also Mr. Manoj, voluntary adoption. And actually we had last the entire discussion went, and mainly we thought how it is beneficial to small and medium practitioners. That is important because everyone thinks about it is only for the large practitioners, but it is not so. And there are two parts of the questions: what institute is doing in relation to building the capacity, and also as regards to the social audits. So I'll deliberate in very briefly about it. And friends, it's a tone at the top. So if I can share with all of you that in COP26 at Glasgow conference, our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has announced that India will become carbon neutral by 2070. And he has given the Panchamrut to be followed by 2030. And on that basis, a lot of things have started moving in India, and the regulators have also started doing to follow these targets which have been given by our leader in India. And accordingly, SEBI has also made it mandatory. The filing is also there by Ministry of Corporate Affairs about the BRSR, and as shared by all of the panelists, how top 1,000 listed companies and multinational companies following different guidelines which are there available globally. And the SEBI has given this top 1,000 listed companies mandate. So the role of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is twofold, and Sustainability Reporting Standard Board, we can say it's one of the early board in the world which institute has formed 3 years back, and our founder chairman is Mr. Sanjeev Singhal, who is from North. And friends, to what we are doing at the board, one is twofold. So one fold is as regards to the interaction with the regulators, what is coming, how it is there, as regards to the sustainability reporting in relation to the BRSR, how it has come. We have also institute, the SRSB has also come out with the 2 SAEs, and which are also available on the website of the institute. One is greenhouse gas statements, and one is disclosure standard requirements. So both are there, and we are also running certificate course on BRSR, and more than 1,000 members have already done this certificate course. There is a small exam also after the certificate course. We have also developed sustainability reporting maturity model, and we have recently released version 2 of it. So what is this SRMM? So whatever reporting is there, if we put in the reporting all these requirements, we have developed this tool. So the company, whatever data of this companies are there in sustainability, if we put in that, automatically it will throw that at what level the company is in sustainability maturity, whether it is at a base level or it is at matured level, and what steps are required to be taken up so that the company can be more sustainable. So these things are already there and available for our members, and we have, it is right now it is a top-bottom approach by India. However, institute feels that the sustainability has to be there in the minds and hearts of everyone, each and not only the members and the students of our institute, but it is for everyone. We have to follow it at our home, at our office, and each and every citizen of India has to marry with the sustainability, and then only our goals of our leaders of India will be served. And as a partner in nation building, we are also coming out with sustainability literacy, and we have released one small 1-minute video also, and more such videos will be coming up. We'll run through that video very soon, within 2 to 3 minutes. As regards to the social audit, friends, in 2019 budget, our Honorable Finance Minister announced in the budget about social stock exchange, and they have formed SEBI has formed one committee, and institute is also part of that committee, and nothing has happened due to the COVID period. However, the things have started coming last year, and SEBI has told to have again start with this social stock exchange concept. At present, only in the 7 countries in the world, the social stock exchange is existing. However, India has a very unique concept, and friends, we have taken up at Institute, we have taken up this as very sincerely as a part of member of the SEBI, and we have been given the task of development of social audit standards based on the 16 thematic areas. So immediately ball has started rolling. Within 2 months, we have developed this social audit framework and 16 social audit standards. We have visited various NGOs and done a lot of hard work and come out with these 16 social audit standards. And these are the social audit, or we can say impact assessment, is applicable for the NPOs, non-profit organizations, charitable trusts, Section 8 companies, which are listed on social stock exchange. So there are 2 exchanges in India, that is National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange, and both of them have an additional arm of social stock exchange, where this trust will be able to get registered and listed, and they'll be able to raise the funds through ZCZP, that is zero coupon, zero principal instruments, and this is as good as donations. So this is entirely new concept, and we have formed Institute of Social Auditors of India, which is 100% subsidiary Section 8 company of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And as I said in the beginning, Dr. P.C. Jain sir is a chairman of Institute of Social Auditors of India, and which is regulating the social auditors. And who is the social auditor? Is a chartered accountant who is clearing the exam which is conducted by NISM, and registering to the ICAI is the social auditor, and ICAI will regulate the social auditor, and the similar mechanism of regulation is there, what is there for chartered accountants, for the social auditors of social auditors. And at present, more than 450 social auditors are already qualified and registered with ICAI. So this is the entire concept of the social audit, and great opportunities as a social auditor also. So within the limited time, I could only share this much. However, we are doing training course also for giving the social audit exam, and webinars also. We are coming up with the webinars for BRSR, regulatory requirements. At SAFA also we are doing a lot of things, and we also come for the social auditors. So stay in touch with Institute and Sustainability Reporting Standard Board, where we are also organizing sustainability awards, and even not only for the top 1,000 listed companies, but the companies which are reporting voluntarily in sustainability, as well as for other frameworks also. Those are also, we are giving them awards, and nominations are there. And friends, again, international 2 SDGs also we are considering for the awards, climate action as well as gender equality. So these are the broad things which Institute is doing for the members, and we feel that it's our duty, and friends, it's our privilege that whatever best we can serve for the members of the Institute, with the support of all the council members over here who are present over here also, and others also, and with the support of President and Vice President. My journey I'll share with you all brief. This is my first term in the council, and when I entered the council, incoming president was CA Dr. Debashish Mitraji, and he called me before formation of the committees after results of the election, which committee you like to have. So I said, कि sir कोई भी committee होगा तो चलेगा, मैं कर लूँगी. And then when nominations came, I was vice chairperson of Sustainability Reporting Standard Board. And as all of you are right now, I was not knowing anything about sustainability last year in February. And the first meeting happened in the month of around March. And at that time, the chairman told me that this is the SEBI white paper has come, concept paper has come on sustainability, and we have to give the response within 48 hours was the timeline, and you have this is your work and you do it. And I was wondering what to do. I don't know anything about sustainability. If there is something on direct tax, I know various experts, I'll call and just get it done. If there is something in indirect tax, GST, there are experts, just call and things are done. But in sustainability, I don't know anyone. So in the evening, nothing happens. Morning, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Up to 9 o'clock, I read that paper about 21, 22 pages twice. And I made the notes, written it, had a meeting with 1 or 2 experts who were out of India, online, and then made entire notes, response, which is given to the SEBI. And at that time also ensured that these things should come, the reporting should flow to the chartered accountant members. And then shown to our chairman, my chairman, Sanjeev Bhai. He said, this is excellent notes. And after that, we have given this response to SEBI. Why I am sharing with all of you? Why? Because we have to put extra efforts to learn something. And if all of you, if the member puts extra efforts into sustainability, it is nothing, I am possible, impossible things, impossible word also says I am possible. It's nothing like it's impossible. It's a great opportunity for the members and very, very interesting. And then the journey started and we developed social audit standards. So it's a great opportunity for each and every member in regards to the reporting, assurance, social audit and all. And this is all from Institute. We can do the best thing for our members. Anything, any suggestion you can always give to us, write to us. And I request office to please run the video, 1-minute video for sustainability, and we tell that Har Ghar sustainability.
ICAI Sustainability Awareness Drive. Har Ghar Sustainability. Take care of ecosystem. Save electricity. Unplug appliances when they are not in use. Take advantage of sunlight. Use solar panels. Use energy efficient lights. Install power strips to save electricity. Use water efficiently. Turn off the tap when not in use. Control water leakages. Rainwater harvesting. Use waste RO water for mopping. Sustainable environment. Reduce, reuse and recycle. No plastic usage. Save paper. Grow more trees for sustainable future. Let every household be sustainable. Thank you.
And with that, we successfully conclude our session on sustainability reporting and social audit. I would like to thank our panelists on stage, our moderator, and CA Preeti Savla ma'am for wonderful remarks, and very rightly said, our actions today is what shapes the world of tomorrow. And with that, we will now be proceeding with our felicitation ceremony. I would like to invite on stage our Central Council member, CA Kotha Srinivasa, to please come and felicitate our moderator for this session, Mr. John Bolton. Can we have a great round of applause, please? I would be requesting Kotha sir to also felicitate our panelist, CA Raj Malik. Can we have a great round of applause, please? I would now be taking this opportunity to invite on stage our Central Council member, CA Dr. Raj Chawla, to please come on stage and felicitate our panelist, Mr. Manoj Vembu. Can we have a great round of applause, please? I would be requesting, sir, to also felicitate Mr. Bikash Prasad. It was indeed a golden opportunity for each one of us here to enrich and enlighten ourselves about the sustainability and what it means in today's world. Thank you so much for your cooperation and making this session a successful one. To all our participants, in another few minutes, we would be again having a session right here on the topic risk management and internal controls in a global context. So I request you to kindly reassemble in few minutes so that we can then again begin with our next technical session.